Hi, it's Heather. This is video 2, and I will preface and say I'm not a professional recorder or computer person or any of that. If there's any editing that happens, my teenage daughters will be the ones doing that. But I wanted to quickly do the first video because my husband wants me to, as quickly as possible, take down this section that's parallel to our driveway and up by the side of our house, side of the garage. This area is illegal and in violation and has most of the garden vegetables, which is the main crux for the HOA. They do not want any garden vegetables in the front, in the side of your property. So I'm going to quickly flip the lens around on my phone. However I do that, I'll probably mess something up. I'm also very unable to take very good family videos. I usually end up just taking like 2 seconds of what I'm not trying to record and miss the entire whatever I'm supposed to be recording. Like happy birthday videos where we sing the song and with the cake, I usually get the last 2 seconds. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna flip the camera around right now and show you the main area I need to work on ASAP. Okay, and here's my dog Tonto. Well, I don't know if you can see or not. I'll get him in a second. So there's Tonto and Jeffrey, our dog and cat. Tonto, say hi. And this is going to be the main area that I need to tackle quickly. As you can see, it runs parallel to our driveway and is visible. But here we go. These are my raised beds. I do have other areas that I'll cover later, but I'm going to focus here on the brown raised bed areas that I'm going to dismantle. I'm going to try to take the dirt and save the top third layer, maybe the top half. I don't know. We'll see. I do have sky pencils that I planted all around, or all up and down here in this section on the property line. I was trying to protect my neighbors from having to look at my garden. So I did that, I think, the fall of 2020. Spent a lot of time and money kind of like putting in these sky pencils. They're now about, I don't know, 4.5 foot tall. So they're up and down this section, and I also put 3 green arboretums. I think that's how you say it. They'll get quite a bit bigger, but so I've got more raised gardens in this back section here of the inner fence area. Another HOA rule: you're only allowed to have a fence on the walkway from your garage door, the top of your driveway, to your backyard. So that's why I have this empty section of yard that I thought would be beautiful to make this little raised bed garden area, and that's what I did. I've got beans growing on the fence along the walkway. I've got the trellis that is above me right now with little 2x8 beds on each side of the trellis. So I had tromboncino squash, some basil, tropical sunset tomatoes grew here this summer and did really well. Some black beans are in this grow bag, and I've been picking them. The problem is they got all mixed in with my other beans, so I had to wait until they completely dried to know which was which. Alright, so I've got lots of grow bags back in this section too. These are my llamas that are just a mess, and I need to go through and see if there's anything salvageable. This will be my second picking. A couple tomatoes left behind here that are looking pretty rough. Looks like somebody dropped a tomato. And I had some cherry tomatoes here that did really well. They got really, really tall, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet tall, and I had to use a ladder at certain points to pick. As you can see behind the trellis here, I have the line of the sky pencils. It took me like a week of digging in the rain, the fall of 2020. There used to be a tree in this area. I completely had to move the walkway you can see right there through the fence. That used to be 4 to 5 foot closer to me. And then when we decided to do the fence in the garden area, my son and I, we relocated it one summer. And it looks great. I love it. Sadly, I guess I'll leave that behind too. Back side of the trellis, you can hear there's a chainsaw. Like I said in the last video, we live in a wooded area, so there's lots and lots of trees. Lots and lots of trees everywhere. That is why I do not have a backyard garden, at least not a backyard full sun garden, because I do have a lot of stuff back there, but there's just too much shade. I can't grow tomatoes back there very well. There is one small pocket on my deck that I do have some stuff growing, and I'll show that in another video. I have a couple green stalks, and I do have this bed through the fence that's technically in my backyard, so that bed can technically stay as long as I have 10% less of my yard space devoted to vegetables or gardens. Okay, I had some technical difficulties. I am backing out of the trellis, and I'm hoping my daughter, who is going to be my professional editor, will insert some photos here of some of the summer pictures from this area, because really it doesn't look that nice right now. I did rehang 2 of my wind chimes. Sorry about the noise. They work for aesthetics and also deer control. I have lots of deer pressure here. Another little deer trick I use is to plant spider flowers. They're spiky, they stink, and the deer hate them. So that's why that guy is just hanging on there way past his time. But in the spring, late spring, summer, they work really great to help control the deer. This is one of my best peppers. I don't remember the name. It starts with an A. It's a sweet pepper. Very nice. I think I will be able to harvest these guys before our first frost. I'm hoping they'll turn a little bit more, but if not, it's fine. They can turn on the counter. And some random strawberries. My experiment, Roselle Hibiscus. He was living on the back deck in very low part sun, and I was just trying to see, would it grow in part sun? Would it grow in a container? It wasn't a container. But about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I decided I'd had enough of the experiment. He was too tall, too lanky, and he needed more space for his roots. So I dug this hole and I just stuck him in there. Another experiment from this summer. This is, I think, a chocolate Tasmanian dwarf tomato. Grew it from seed in a pot on the back deck and some soil, just a little starter cup. And I wanted to see if I could get it to produce before the first frost. And I know I have some little babies here and there. I've seen them. It smells delicious. Oh, I guess I could show this really quick. I have several swallowtail caterpillars who are eating the last bits of carrot and celery, not celery, I'm sorry, carrots and parsley that I have left. Every other place that I have it growing, they ate it, everything down to the stem. So I relocated everyone I could find to this last little patch here. And hopefully they'll turn into what they need to turn into before I have to take everything down. Here's another creative way of growing in tight spaces. Have these trellises hooked to these planters, and I just put beans down in the ground in the back, and they grew really well. I've picked from these beans many times. This is one of my favorite varieties, Provider. And I love purple, and they have pretty purple flowers. Poor little squash guy, he's not going to make it. Dwarf tomato variety. I think there might be some tomatoes in there somewhere. Another squash that's not going to make it. Planted really, really, really late because I have such horrible squash borers here. Oh, there's a harlequin bug. I hate those guys. Okay. Some tomatoes who are hanging on. I will be harvesting these guys very, very soon and taking all of them down. Same for the eggplants. My eggplants did not do well at all this year. Very small, very slow growing. Some garlic that got missed in July. I think it was July. I think what I'm going to do is divide them and just plant them somewhere. The very same day that I received that letter from the HOA, I had spent that morning 2 different websites ordering a ton, well, not a ton, more garlic than I ordered last year. 3 different varieties of garlic. I also ordered 2 different sets of seed potatoes and a bunch of seeds, and then of course later that day I get the email about no gardens. I'm sorry, not email, letter. So I have to deal with that, figure out what to do when the garlic and potatoes arrive. I thought these little thingies are cute. I got these online. It's like a pitchfork and a shovel. They're just cute. It was just a cute little side interest on the big trellis here. So that's it for this video. I will update more as I go through each section and decide what I'm going to take down, what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to move with me. It's a lot to process, a lot to think about in such a short time. Thanks for watching.